Greetings, and thank you for your interest in Discourse, a unique educational technology program from Educational Testing Service. Discourse is a software platform for teaching, learning, and assessment. But to help you understand exactly what it is, let me start by telling you what it is not. Discourse is not a subject-specific or grade-specific technology program. It can be used with any subject and any grade, in elementary schools, middle schools, high schools, and in post-secondary schools. And Discourse is not an integrated learning system, or ILS, with ready-to-use content. With Discourse, teachers use their own curriculum and their own lessons. So what is Discourse? To begin with, it's a software program designed for use with a networked computing environment, where every student has access to a computer. Discourse can be used with personal laptops, mobile laptop carts, desktop computers in a computer lab, and handheld computers. It's helpful to think of Discourse from three perspectives: teaching, learning, and assessment. Think of these three words as you watch the following news clip from a high school in Maryland. In this case, the students are using handheld computers with detachable keyboards, but they could be using laptops or desktop computers as well.
You're watching News 4 at 5. I'm I.J. Hudson. Coming up on Digital Edge, a look at software that helps keep students and teacher connected.
Well, for years we've been talking about how technology can help teachers. And in tonight's Digital Edge report, I.J. Hudson takes us to a high school English class using wireless networking and software to give the teacher instant feedback on how well students are doing.
No, it's usually
11th grade English literature at River Hill High School in Clarksville, Maryland. Students use pocket PCs equipped with a wireless card and a collapsible keyboard. This is a very connected class, connected with the teacher and classmates through Discourse software. Lynn Story was Maryland's Teacher of the Year in the 2000-2001 school year and says this software helps her combine assessment with content. She asks questions, either verbally or through her laptop. The students write their answers on the computer. She can read each student's response on the laptop or on a big screen.
This is real-time assessment. I can examine, no one can hide in this class. I see what everybody is writing at the time, stroke by stroke, at the time that they're composing their thoughts.
She asks a question, the students compose their answers and see the answers of others. It seems to stimulate more discussion and keep the class connected and let Ms. Story know more about her students. Story says student writing improves, and the Discourse software lets her blend in standardized questions that students will see later on with regular classroom work. She sees answers immediately. The software calculates how many students have responded, how many are getting it. Does she need to spend more time on the topic?
I can see 33% of my students didn't understand it because it gives me instant reports of that nature. I can reteach, remediate on the fly before I go on to a new concept.
Story says the technology is part of the kids' real world. It's a tool that enhances the education process. The students agree. Story says Discourse makes her a better teacher, helps students who already are comfortable in a digital world. For this classroom, it's not about the technology. It's about education and making sure students aren't left behind. I.J. Hudson for the Digital Edge.
Now that you have a sense as to what a classroom using Discourse looks and feels like, let's return to the key words of teaching, learning, and assessment. Let's start with teaching. In a traditional history lesson, the teacher might ask, what were some of the effects of World War II on America? 4 or 5 students raise their hands. They have an answer, but what about the others? How many of them have something to contribute, but are too shy or uncertain to volunteer? How many have an idea, but need some encouragement? And how many students are simply not engaged? For the teacher, it's very hard to decide whether to review or move on. Now consider Ms. Story's Discourse class from the news clip. Every student uses a networked computing device to construct their own responses to the lesson questions. Each student's answer is displayed, keystroke by keystroke, on Ms. Story's computer, so she knows right away who understands the concept and who does not, who is following the lesson and who isn't. With Discourse, She knows immediately whether to review or move on. And all of her students are expected to be active participants. While using Discourse for classroom instruction, the teacher can send a series of prepared lesson activities to the students' computers or simply ask open-ended questions. Selected student responses can be sent to the entire class, either with a name or anonymously. Lesson preparation can be done at school or at home with the program's lesson authoring module. Lesson and test questions can include graphics and illustrations, and they can be written in a wide range of formats: open-ended, short answer, keyword, multiple choice, true-false, fill-in, and voting. Discourse also enables teachers to incorporate the internet and other media into their lessons. Through a feature called Web Travel, the teacher can take all students to a website, allow them time to research and answer questions about the topic, and give them an opportunity to explore elsewhere on the web. Then all students can be brought instantly to the next link or activity in the lesson plan. Web Travel also enables the teacher to monitor the sites that the students are viewing, and it maintains a log of all websites accessed by each student during a lesson. Now let's look at Discourse from the learner's perspective, moving from the classroom to the computer lab or even the home, where students can use Discourse for self-paced review, homework, test preparation, or actual testing. Earlier, you saw Discourse in whole class mode, where the teacher decides the order and pace of lesson questions. Students know that the teacher can see if they have participated or not, or if they answer correctly or incorrectly. In self-paced mode, students work independently to answer questions prepared earlier by the teacher. As in whole class mode, the questions can be in any format and can include graphics, math formulas, and websites. Students can work at their own pace or within a time limit. The teacher can see all students' answers as they are entered, or wait and review the work later. I said the work. A teacher can also set up and monitor multiple self-paced lessons so that students work on objectives that are appropriate to their levels of achievement. For example, this is appropriate with mainstream special education students. An instant feedback feature, when activated by the teacher, alerts students immediately if their response to a question is right or wrong. A student who needs help or clarification can send a question privately to the teacher and receive a private answer. When it comes to assessment with Discourse, you've already seen how teachers can view all students' responses instantly. This means assessment is formative. It occurs in real time and is ongoing. Teachers can use these formative assessments to modify instruction based on students' needs and to provide feedback to individual students at the moment of instruction. With every question in a lesson, the teacher can see each student's response and the number of attempts each student made before submitting the correct answer. In addition, the program displays the percentage of students answering each closed-end question correctly. All work that students do, whether as a class or independently, is graded automatically and immediately, so Discourse can also be used for traditional testing purposes, with tests and quizzes graded on the spot. All student data, meaning the actual student responses in addition to the scores, can be saved for as long as necessary. Discourse generates many assessment reports to document individual student performance and performance by class. For instance, complete records of lessons, activities, and student responses can be saved and reviewed at any time. The class performance reports can be aggregated to create a grade-level performance report. All assessment results can be saved and compared over time to monitor progress by individual students, classes, and grades in specific subjects and skills. Discourse is being used every day in schools across the United States and in England. Now let's hear from educators at some of those schools.
With Discourse, you know immediately that every student either understands it or they don't understand it. And it's so wonderful to be able to go back to that student and say, okay, tell me what's going on here. It gives you just such an immediate entry into their mind, into their thinking. And that to me is the most valuable tool that any teacher can have, is to be able to read every child's mind immediately.
With third graders, the interest is so high and they are so motivated. I have never, since I've been doing discourse, ever had a child off task, ever. I mean, I've never, I mean, they just want to do it. So I've never had anyone, I mean, I have 100% participation when I do it. No one is off task. I think that's pretty amazing.
This is a tool that can really revolutionize what we're doing in the classroom. You know, this is, like I said earlier, it's not about the technology, it's about teaching and learning, and it's truly a piece of software that we could utilize to change the kinds of things that we're doing in the classroom and assess instantly the kinds of things that are happening within the classroom.
You've seen that Discourse is educational technology that can be used for daily teaching, for review, homework, test preparation, formal testing, and informal assessments. It can be used in classrooms and computer labs, with laptops, desktops, and handheld computers. It can be used with any subject and any grade, and is meant to be used with a school's existing curriculum. To find out how Discourse can be implemented in your school or district, contact your account representative or visit discourse.com. Thank you for watching.
I think my most favorite part of Discourse is what it does for those individual children who would never say anything. And because you can see, and then they get that answer published and they know they're not off the wall, or if their answer is off the wall, it's really a cool answer. It's amazing what it does for them. I mean, it is amazing. That's my most favorite part of Discourse is, you know, the technology is great and everything, but it's what it does for the children. It's just, it's so exciting for the children.